Socialism, along with the other isms, we talked about that real quick. I'm just going to breeze through that. Agenda 21, socialism, collectivism, basically, the idea that rights are held collectively, communally, not individually. It's upside down from what our founding fathers put together. And traditional family, our platform says the biblical model of family, one man and one woman as divinely instituted, is the best environment in which to raise a child. Responsibility on part of the parents to rear their children should be encouraged, and the family unit should be promoted. We must be cautious that the social entitlements that, now this is me after this, we've got to be cautious that the social entitlements, though, that arise out of this concept don't become a foothold. Now, there was a little confusion over what the heck I meant by all this by some folks, and I want to tell you that we just have to be careful. Some of the social entitlements that become the foothold, the gay marriage debate was they got their legal talons into the foothold called the social entitlements. That's where they took root in the courts, the social entitlements, and in the public opinion. And now we're at a point where government, and this has been coming for generations. It started when government started issuing marriage licenses, doing tax status and all, and there are some good things about that. It promotes marriage, it promotes family. But if government has assumed this role, this authority, and government sovereignty and jurisdictions derived from God. Remember, Abraham Kuyper's sphere sovereignty model. Our founders understood it. Government derives its sovereignty from God, and it must define marriage. It must do so in accordance with God's principles, is the idea. And so, when government has to define marriage, it must define it as one man, one woman. Unless you can point to a scripture in the Bible that says otherwise. So, that's one that one example how we can agree on principle, but sometimes application isn't so easy because there's so many different ways to approach it. Last thing I wanted to share, and I'll shut up.
I was going to ask you, going back to that about the government's role in marriage. Have you seen that there is a larger, important role of why the civil government defines that?
Al and I spoke about that topic, the role of government in marriage and all, and he brought up the issue of inheritance. If I was to kill over, and can I count on the law making sure that my kids inherit? What have I got? But seriously, let's say I got $10,000 from a scratch off before I killed over. Make sure they get it right. But yeah, it's like the inheritance of property and custody of children. Custody of children was a big one too. So it really, like I say, it's easy to say, okay, this is what I believe, these are the principles, and sit there and pontificate about it, or sit there and just hammer out the way it should be until you apply them. That's where the rubber meets the road, the application of the principles. We need the education, we need the principles, we need to apply them too. With the Constitution, the political end of it, the application of it. Our biggest challenge is going to be taking people who agree with us and working with them on the application. Your pro-life folks, your pro-Second Amendment folks. I will work as long as it goes in that direction that I just described, where it heads in the way of liberty. But if it takes us in the other direction, forget it. Forget it. But yeah, it has been a pretty good eye-opener on and that's iron sharpens iron. The same, iron sharpens iron. Sometimes getting into a political debate with somebody is a very healthy thing, and that's when you can hone out this application stuff.
This message is paid for, produced by me, David Waddell. I approve this message.